Aloha, my name is Lono. I'm a Kahuna priest. Huna is a word in Hawaiian that really, like all Hawaiian words, it has several levels of meaning. At the surface, it means something that's a secret. But at the deepest level, it means the sacred knowledge of reality. Think of it in terms of what's happening right now with the space telescope. You know, at one time, human beings thought that the Earth was flat and you could sail off of the edge of it. Today we know that the Earth is a round planet in part of a solar system going around the sun in a galaxy, and that there are billions upon billions of galaxies, each of which have billions upon billions of stars. That's quite a different thing. And that remained a secret to humanity until just recently. So think of Huna in those terms. Think of it in terms of that which has remained a secret and is a secret to most people. So that's what we're looking for is Huna, the secret, the sacred knowledge of reality. Now that goes along with the next principle of Huna wisdom, which is that life energy flows where reality is. Now, I'm not talking about our beliefs about what reality are. We believed that the Earth was flat. We now know something entirely different. So I'm not looking at beliefs. Life energy flows where reality is. As soon as we can see reality, life energy starts to flow in that place. We start to become aware of choices that we couldn't see otherwise. That comes to the third principle. And that principle is, and this is a really interesting one for me because I'm a scientist, and when I first heard this in Hawaii, it blew me away. Belief is necessary only for that which is not real. That which is real is available at the level of recognition. We recognize reality. We don't have to believe in it. And it works reliably and flawlessly. So we're looking for reality. We're realizing that life energy flows where reality is. We realize that the effect, when we're in touch with something that's real, we can recognize it. We don't have to believe it. And then, this is very important. Many people get involved with spiritual paths and have spiritual teachers, and they give up their sovereignty to the teacher. And we never do that in Huna. In Huna, my job is to make sure that you understand that the credential is always inside of you, not in me. And so this saying in Huna is that the credential is always in the message, never in the messenger. The credential is always in the message, never in the messenger. I'm going to share with you ideas and perspectives that you need to go inside, and you can tell. You can tell that they're real. You don't have to believe me. Now, it's one thing to have an open mind, because you understand my story. You understand that I've died twice and come back. I have insight about this whole process that other people who haven't gone through those things just don't have. But even so, I'm just a messenger. The message is its own credential. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for Huna, reality, the secret knowledge of the real reality, the big R. Not all of our little independent little R's that we think we know what's real out there. I'm talking about the big R. And when we understand that big R, then we can tell that something is a part of that big R because we can recognize it. As an example, I used the example of the Earth a moment ago. Here's another one spiritually. If I look at a woman and I look at her as someone who I'm interested in sexually, and that's the only thing I can see is how attractive she is and how cute she is and all of that, Or I can look at a woman and I can see a divine being who's a daughter of God. And I can treat her with the respect that's due a fellow divine being. Which of those two ways of treating that woman is going to result in the best relationship? And again, you can recognize the truth. You don't have to believe it. I have to believe in what a lot of so-called spiritual events were that happened in the past. But I don't have to believe reality. Belief is completely unnecessary. So I want to find Huna. We want to recognize Huna, but understand the difference between a recognition and a belief. It's not that hard. And then finally, recognize that your teacher, whoever they are, is only a messenger, not the message, and that your ability to perceive the message is inside of you. Your connection to God is in here. And let me leave you now with the biggest idea of all, and it's what I live to teach. The only definition of the word God that can possibly make any sense is that God is all that is. And that means that you are made out of God, your whole life is made out of God, and so is everyone else's. So is everything on this planet. I'm living in this beautiful spot, this paradise. Those plants, they're part of God. That garden down there, it's a part of God. That beautiful sky up there is a part of God. It's all a part of God. If it exists, it's made out of God. For there's nothing else out of which it can be made. And my message is that we owe one another divine respect. There is an all that is. Not even an atheist can argue with that. Science knows that. We all came from the same place. And we're all a part, whoever you are, of that all that is. So all we have to do is just make that the new definition of God. And you're going to find out that things work a lot better in your life. So please join a family. You'll get more messages like this that are inspirational. Many of these messages, just one sentence can change your life. So I hope to have you be a part of my family. I hope to have you join me. Tuesday evenings we have our Ohana meetings. Those are live. You can ask questions. We also have our Pearls of Wisdom podcasts that are both video blogs and regular audio blogs that contain this information, short pieces that you'll be able to do in a short period of time. Be aware that it's important when you get this material. Find a place. I really want you to consider finding a place that you feel spiritually connected to everything, whatever that is. You know, I'm an original Colorado cowboy, so for me, being in a place like this, walking out in the mountains, being aware, being in touch with nature, that does it for me. Other people might find that it's in a chapel at a church. Other people might find that it's, you know, just in a special spot in their backyard. I don't care where it is. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's a place that you feel connected to all that is. And then listen to these podcasts and these messages and the lessons that are in the way of wisdom. You're going to change your life. You may want to listen to them more than once because they're very, very powerful. The idea that belief, as an example, is necessary only for that which is not real. Think about that. That 40,000-year-old piece of wisdom, according to the Hawaiians. If that is even remotely true, and I have no way of knowing, but if it's even remotely true, that even if it's 1,000 years, it's stunning that people that long ago were that spiritually sophisticated. And I know that a lot of the Native American tribes are the same way. I deal with a lot of Native Americans, and I deal with a lot of Hawaiians. And the indigenous cultures were not the heathens that the missionaries thought that they were. And it's been very sad to see what has happened to those cultures because the missionaries came in took the kids out of their homes, wouldn't allow them to learn their ways, their language, and thought that they were saving them by doing that. And it was ridiculously arrogant. And many of these people had a spiritual understanding. It's far more sophisticated than anything we have today. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. There's a lot of magic and mystery ahead. Aloha.